I'm a pretty busy guy. I work full time. I also run a blog for a small political party here in the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. And I did a lot of paying attention to the news Thursday, Friday, and all weekend. And one thing that struck me is, as far as the mass media was concerned, every report they gave about the happenings outside the G20 could have obviously, and half of me thinks that it probably was written ahead of time, because none of it was true.
There were a lot of talking points that were given out there. I only saw the coverage sparsely as I moved in and out. I did pass Rick Leventhal of Fox News during the initial protest on Thursday, off on a side street far away from the majority of police where we had been corralled, and he was reporting on the military presence. But again, the media always wants to shape it. Oh, it's these bad anarchists or these anti-capitalists or these people that don't know what's going on. They don't want to talk about the Iraq veterans that are in there. They don't want to talk. That first day, there were tons of middle-aged to elderly Americans out there. Falun Gong had a huge presence. The Free Tibet people had a huge presence on those days, and they are just simply ignored, Russ.
Yeah, and they're concentrating on the anarchists when there was people from all walks of life. What the media does, they make the innocent look guilty and the guilty look innocent. And they were reading off scripts and pretty much had everything they wanted to say. But that's why it's so important for activists to get out there and speak our message, not only interrupting their shows and getting it out there to the viewers, but also to the people out there. Because when we talk to the people out there through the bullhorn, they were mostly loving people that loved when I was saying that we don't need to break stuff. We don't need to go against the police. We need to work with the hearts and minds of the people to turn this into a peaceful evolution and not a violent revolution.
All right, let's move on to our next caller. Let's go to Eric in California. Eric, you're on the line.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Excellent. Hey, big props to Luke. Boy, Luke, you have really come a long way. You're so much more articulate than when you first started out, and thereby being so much more effectual, man. I'd just love to see your evolution.
Hey, thank you, man. We all grow and learn every single day. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. We all don't, but we all grow as human beings and individuals. The longer we're in this, the more information we gain and the more things we know, and we love to share it with you guys. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I call into radio shows all the time, and I actually record them so that I can, critique myself and do better and be more effectual the next time. But I've got two things I want to bring up. One thing is the Dave Mustaine interview with Alex. I thought that was awesome. And I gave Dave a copy of Obama's Deception when he was still recording his new album, and I wasn't able to get a review from him, but he's got his recording studio in my town. So I would, out of that, I would really like to see Alex use a lot more of Megadeth's music for bumper music, but that's such an inconsequential thing.
Hey, but you know what? Myself also, I'd love to get some more Megadeth on the program. Hey, he was able to reach him. He had him on an interview last summer, and all of a sudden, his new album is called Endgame.
Yeah, when I met with him, when I met with him, he had seen Endgame, but he hadn't seen Obama Deception. I gave him a bunch of other Alex's stuff. But anyhow, I want to talk about this G20 riots, or not riots, but clampdown and whatnot. Mm-hmm. When the whole immigration thing started out a few years back, in my town, it was like one of the few towns that got reported on any kind of violence. There's a couple hundred troublemakers in this town and here in San Diego, and they called in police from all over San Diego County, and I think they were able to amass about 400 riot cops. And I flashed forward to the G20 and how they had to pull in troops and FBI and cops and Border Patrol. What the hell is that all about? To deal with the demonstrators. And it just shows me, it pulled back the curtain for me, and it just exposed to me that they don't have the resources to deal with us.
Well, you know what? They don't have the resources to deal with a hard insurrection. But if they keep up what they're doing incrementally amping it up, incrementally bringing more troops to the street, incrementally getting the populace used to checkpoints with the military. You'd be surprised at what they're able to do, Eric. I thank you for the call. And that's what basically scares me. You know, it scares me the amount of, when you bring 1,200 riot cops down for essentially a couple hundred people, and then you report in the media that you dispersed 40 people with bullets or rubber bullets and tear gas, when in fact, you know, you took over an entire city. All of Oakland was shut down. Okay, they arrested more than 100 people. They documented them digitally in a separate process for protesters, probably for their little fusion centers. They can do a lot more than you think. No, I don't think that they could, you know, take a hardline take over the United States, do a hardline takeover with the National Guard, the Marines, and the Army. A lot of them would revolt. But if they keep ratcheting it up, it's just like that frog in the boiling pot. You'd be amazed how successful they could become. Luke?
They use people against people, and we have to understand these cops, these military men, they're just people like us. They have families like us. I mean, during the protest, there was a lady, when I was bullhorning, that came up to the We Are Change members, and she was like, my father's a cop. He's out here right now. And she told us how her father was sent a text message, and all the police officers in Pittsburgh were sent a text message, and they were given a text message and a copy of a flyer by the anarchists that said, F the police. I'm not going to curse. They said F the police on there. And they said, meet here. All the police officers come here. And they use one's anger against one another. And that's why we can't be angry. We can't use hate. We have to love each other and understand that we are all humans living on this world.
They are masters, Luke. Masters of psychological warfare. Hold over. We'll be back after this final segment with Luke Rudowski. Still taking your calls. It's the Info Warrior.